Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I'm back over here at my bookshelf, and today I am going to be talking about books that I am giving away this year. So they're not on these shelves or the one behind me. They're just on the floor, but I'm going to go through them. Most of these books are educational books, books that I got when I was in school, or some of these might be like a sibling's book too that I'm sure she doesn't want. So anyway, I will just walk through them. So this first one, you guys will have seen this in other videos, but the first one is The Tea House on Mulberry Street by Sharon Owens. Um, I still have a hard time giving it up, but I was thinking about it this morning and I was like, if I want to read this again, I can read it as an ebook. I don't think that it's something that I want to have on my shelf just because I feel so hesitant to read it. And it might be one of those books where I can read it, but it's not a book that I would probably read over and over again just because some of the language used or some scenes in here make me feel uncomfortable. But that doesn't mean that I won't check it out as an ebook because I do still remember this book being very good, but I just personally want books on my bookshelf that I can read again and again that don't make me feel uncomfortable, that are, relatively clean and wholesome. So that's why I'm giving this up. So I'm probably just going to take these books to a library and yeah. The second book, this was on my summer TBR, I think. It is called what? Mastering Parliamentary Debate. So I am the type of person that really likes learning, which is why you'll see some of these other books that I wanted to keep, even though I don't need them because I'm not taking those classes anymore. I just really like to learn, so I wanted to improve on those skills. This one, this one is one of my sister's books. I think debate sounds very interesting, but if I'm being honest with myself, I probably won't ever get to this book. And again, if it's a book that I do want to read in the future, I will just, borrow it from a library, read it as an ebook, or listen to it on audio. So, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna save one of these because I do really have something to say about that book. But moving on, another book that I got when I was in school. This is about psychology and Christianity. It says exploring psychology and Christian faith. The parts that I did read when I was at school, I think, resonated with me at the time, but I just don't see myself really reading this. I have some highlights in here as I'm looking back, but I mean, that only makes sense because it was for school. So, letting go of this one too. Here's one that I want to let go of, but it actually might stay on my shelf because I don't think it's. I'll just show you guys. So, this is Pink Lips and Empty Hearts by Heather Lindsey. You may have heard of her before. She has a YouTube channel, and I believe her husband is a pastor. But yeah, I got this. It holds special memories. I got this some years ago, probably 2016. And it says it's the all-in-one book for the woman after God's own heart. It also talks about relationships and different things like that. But I think it's just, there's a season for everything, and I probably won't reread this book, so I'm ready to give it away. However, as you can see, when I went to open it, there's still this stuff on it, and then I didn't take care of my books very well in the past, so um, actually, as I'm looking through it, it's really not that bad. But I don't know if they'll want it because of this, but I'll probably still try to give it away. Also, there's just my highlights. I had this highlighter. You guys know those highlighters that are kind of like pins? They're like a little sticky. Well, that's the highlighter that I was using at the time. And so, I don't know, these highlights just seem so, yeah. But actually, this is not bad at all, so I might be able to let go of it. I have a little bit of writing. Yeah, like there's one of these at the end of the chapter. I wrote like a bunch of questions. Not a bunch of questions. Actually, just two questions, but in a really big font. This is funny to look back at. So I don't know. It might stay on my shelf. I'm trying to fix that glare. It might stay on my shelf, but I'm ready to give it up. So there's that, and then this is about black and white photography. So I took a photography class a little while ago, not too long ago, and it was like old school photography. So I forget what those kinds of cameras are called. I actually still have it, but it's not like a digital camera. Like we had to go and get the film developed and stuff. I did not end up needing this book at all. I didn't need to use a book. I just needed the lectures. So I don't think I ever even actually read through this. And yeah, I mean it's still in high quality, so I will definitely give this away. This is a book that a friend gave to me. Introduction to Communication Disorders. So when I first went off to college, that my major was speech pathology. I wanted to be a speech pathologist. Please don't ask me like what it is, because I mean I know, but it's difficult for me to explain. Well, I know kind of, because again that was my major, but yeah, it's still a really cool major too. And I think I have two friends that are speech pathologists. But yeah, I didn't end up doing that. My major right now is actually public health, so I can give this up, but I'm thankful that she gave it to me. Okay, and then the last book that I am letting go of, which I'm also kind of uncertain about, but yeah, it is called Holdout by Jeffrey. I don't want to butcher his last name, but you can see it there. So I wanted to talk a little bit about this book because I'm not bashing the book at all, and I always think it's important to give authors like the benefit of the doubt. I think that this book has a good plot. It's I didn't get too far into it to be able to tell you guys fully, but oh, I wrinkled this. Okay. Well, this is a science fiction book. And so it starts off in the beginning with these like astronauts. And so there's like this crash that happens. And like it's still kind of hard for me to explain. Let me try to find, here we go. Okay, Veteran American astronaut Belka Wally Beckwith didn't plan it this way. When a freak accident befalls the International Space Station and injures her and two other astronauts on board, Russian cosmonauts, I don't know how to pronounce that, who are keen on following the rules, NASA and Roscosmos order all astronauts to abandon ship immediately. In an unprecedented breach of command, Wally refuses to return to Earth, and as her fellow astronauts blast off toward home, the trajectory of her life veers dramatically off course. I think the plot is so interesting. I wanted to keep reading, but my problem with this book is certain descriptions of characters. There's also some cussing in this book. Yeah, it's not horrible, but I think it is in like almost every chapter. Let me let me take a minute and try to find the description that I want to show you guys. Okay, I found it. So here's what it says. She was born of an American father and a Mexican mother. Hold on. Did you guys hear that? I think that was a plane. Okay, she was born of an American father and a Mexican mother, but the American part was hard to spot. Sonia's hair was black and thick, and she kept it long, though for field work she braided it and then tied it up to the crown of her head in a business-like bun. She had the kind of mocha skin that darkened a shade if someone so much as took a flash picture of her. In the jungle sun, she was nearly the color of the tribe's people. Okay, so yeah, even if I like kind of go back and look at the context of it, those kinds of descriptions, I think it's really important for any authors to not write descriptions of characters like this, because saying that she was born of an American father and a Mexican mother, but the American part was hard to spot, it makes this assumption that all Americans are white with blonde hair and blue eyes, and that's not true. America is a very diverse place, and I don't feel like this book represented that. So it was just like descriptions like that, okay, I can maybe take one description like that, but then it kind of, over time, there were just like little things that kept piling up that bothered me about the book. And then I did look at it, like kind of look at reviews on Goodreads, which I don't really want to read like reviews of books before I finish it, because I know that it can kind of color my thinking, but people were saying a similar thing to me, and it's just, yeah, I don't know how to fully express this or fully tell you guys why it matters that in books we make sure that our descriptions are not like this. It's just important. I don't know how else to say it. I hope you guys understand where I'm coming from, because as a Black or African American, I just, it hit me, and I just didn't like the description. I think it's really, really important that we show that America is a diverse, place. And there were other descriptions too, in here, I want to say, like even about women as a whole. I don't know, I just didn't really like the overall feel of it, so I was kind of starting to not enjoy it. So that's why I'm letting it go. But I do think the plot is interesting, and I genuinely wanted to see like what happened at the end, because I have no clue, like, all the connections and stuff. I really had no clue what the ending was going to be, but I just couldn't finish it. So that's the last book that I wanted to talk about, and I really wanted to share that message because I think it's important. But that is it for all of the books that I'm planning on giving away this year. Yeah, my shelves look pretty good after taking those books out. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.